When I told my husband that my sister would be moving in, temporarily with her 2 kids, he smiled, too wide, not the confused or even slightly annoyed look I expected, not even reluctant support. He smirked. "Really?" he said, suppressing a laugh. "That's big news." We'd been married 5 years, lived in a modest but comfortable 3-bedroom house. No kids of our own yet, just plans, conversations, calendar markings. Emma, my sister, was going through a rough divorce. Her ex had left her with debt, instability, and 2 bright-eyed kids who deserved far better. I couldn't let her crash in a shelter. Of course she'd stay with us. James agreed without protest. But that smirk, it stayed in my head all day. And that's when I felt it. Something cold sliding in under the surface. This wasn't just about helping family. There was something I didn't know, something he did, and it would take moving my sister in to finally see it. Emma moved in the following Saturday. She arrived with 2 suitcases, a beat-up minivan, and her kids. Lila, 7, and Max, 4. They were exhausted, but polite. Emma looked embarrassed. Her eyes had the kind of tired that sleep couldn't fix. James helped carry the bags in, chatting easily with the kids. Told Max about the backyard swing. Told Lila we had magic pancake syrup. I watched him carefully. Too carefully. He was being too good, too warm, too ready. I shook it off. For the first few days, things were calm. The kids adjusted quickly. Emma offered to cook, clean, contribute. I told her not to worry, just focus on healing. But James? He kept finding reasons to linger near her. Not obvious, nothing physical. But the small things piled up. He laughed harder at her jokes than he ever did at mine. He complimented her cooking with a sincerity I hadn't heard in years. He stood just a bit too close when they were in the kitchen together. One night I came home late from work. James was in the living room watching TV with the kids. Emma was on the floor helping Max build a Lego tower. James was watching her, not the show. Her. When he noticed me, he looked startled, like he forgot I was supposed to be there. The smirk was gone. I told myself I was paranoid. This was my husband. He wouldn't, but the next morning I found his phone on the table. He was in the shower. Normally I wouldn't look. I never had to. But something in my gut twisted. That cold sliver returned. I opened his texts. There wasn't a name, just a number. But I knew the tone. Flirty. Inside jokes. And then, remember that night in the kitchen? Still think about it. Can't believe we got away with it. My stomach dropped. I scrolled further. Photos. Not explicit, but enough. Emma. In a tank top, laughing, leaning over the sink. A selfie. James and her. Too close. Way too close. My hands shook. I backed away from the phone like it was radioactive. I didn't confront him. Not yet. I needed to be sure. I started watching them more carefully. They rarely touched, but the energy, it buzzed. Subtle tension in every hallway glance, every shared task. I set traps. Nothing cruel, just little tests. I forgot to tell James I was coming home early. Walked in to find him and Emma whispering in the garage. I asked what they were doing. He said, just helping her find a box of clothes. Emma didn't meet my eyes. One night, Emma and I sat on the porch while the kids slept. She sipped wine. I pretended to. You doing okay? I asked. She nodded. Too fast. Must be hard starting over. Another nod. Then I said it. Softly. Carefully. Did something happen before you moved in? Between you and James? She froze. Her grip tightened around the glass. No, she said too quickly. Then quieter. What are you asking? I saw the texts. Silence. Then she exhaled, a sound between a laugh and a sob. It was a mistake, she whispered. One night, I was drunk. He was there. I didn't respond. Before you even got engaged, she added, like that made it better. It was nothing. But it wasn't nothing, because it had never stopped. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I told her I'd drive her to a friend's the next morning. She didn't argue. James didn't ask why. I didn't need to explain. He knew the second she started packing. They're both gone now. Emma stayed with a friend across town, eventually found her own place. James? I asked him to leave that night. He tried to talk, swear it meant nothing, that it was over. But I wasn't interested in what wasn't. I only cared about what had been, and what he'd smiled through. Some betrayals don't explode. They unfold slowly, in glances, in smirks, in silences that mean more than words ever could. My sister and my husband, they didn't expect to be caught. They probably thought their secret would age out, become harmless in time. But I saw them, and worse, I felt them. In the way my home stopped feeling safe, in the way love turned to performance. I live alone now. Quiet mornings, clean spaces. Sometimes the kids visit. I never held them responsible, but I don't talk to Emma. And I don't miss James. Because what they broke wasn't just a marriage or a bond, it was trust. And that, once cracked, doesn't smirk. It shatters.